Behind closed doors in Washington, the language has shifted from caution to something far more dangerous. The Wall Street Journal has reported that US President Donald Trump is now pressing his advisors for what he calls decisive options against Iran. Not symbolic, not restrained, decisive. After stepping back from strikes just days ago, Trump has once again waned the use of American force, even as the US military quietly moves into position across the Middle East. An aircraft carrier is sailing toward the Persian Gulf. 15 Strike Eagles have landed in Jordan. Refueling tankers, cargo planes, fighter squadrons, all surging into the region. This is not a drill. This is posture. According to US officials, Trump has repeatedly used one word in internal discussions: decisive. That word has set the Pentagon and the White House racing to prepare scenarios, including options that could go far beyond limited strikes and target the very leadership of the Iranian regime. No final order has been given, but one thing is clear: the option of military action is no longer off the table. Iran, meanwhile, is burning from within. Since late December, the country has been rocked by nationwide protests, driven by economic collapse, a crashing currency, and deep anger at clerical rule. Human rights groups report thousands killed, tens of thousands arrested, thousands more injured. Tehran denies the numbers and blames foreign enemies: the United States, Israel, outside agitators. Trump has issued warnings before. He has threatened to hit hard if protesters were killed, then publicly praised Tehran when executions were reportedly paused. But now the rhetoric is darker. Asked whether strikes are possible, Trump offers no reassurance. We'll see what happens, he says.
About Iran, is the military option still on the table? And can you assure us that the killing in Iran has stopped? And when regard to the Peace Council, which members have to pay $1 billion?
So with Iran, are you from Iran?
No, I cover the White House.
Where are you from?
I'm Palestinian American.
So with Iran, they were going to hang 837 people, and I let them be known that, and we let them know that if that happens, that will be a very bad day for them. And they decided not to do it. They didn't hang the people. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the future, but supposedly they've taken that off the table. But they were going to, last week, they were going to hang on Thursday or Wednesday. They were going to hang, I think, 837 people, and they didn't hang anybody. So we're just going to have to see what happens with Iran. Is the military option off the table? So I think the building of a really powerful military has been a great achievement, and that would include the Venezuela thing, that would include the attack on Iran and the wiping out of the nuclear threat. I think that's been really amazing what we've done militarily.
And when it comes to threats against his own life, the message is unmistakable. If Iran tries to assassinate him, Trump warns, the response will be total. Overwhelming, relentless. The whole country, he says, will get blown up. As diplomacy stalls, the military buildup accelerates. The Pentagon rushed more F-15E Strike Eagles to the Middle East in recent days. 3 US Strike Eagle squadrons are now positioned in the region. F-16s and A-10s are already there. The USS Abraham Lincoln is arriving with F-35 stealth fighters, Super Hornets, and electronic warfare jets capable of blinding air defenses. These are the same aircraft that have faced Iran before, the same jets that intercepted Iranian drones, the same forces that struck nuclear sites, and now they are back. Trump has even suggested the unthinkable, that Iran may need new leadership, not reform, not dialogue, replacement. For now, the president says he is watching, waiting, calculating. But as carriers close in, as fighter jets fan out across the region, and as Iran's streets fall silent after weeks of bloodshed, the world is left holding its breath. Because when Washington starts asking for decisive options, history shows what often comes next.
President Donald Trump warns the United States would wipe Iran off the map if Tehran were to assassinate him. Speaking in a televised interview, Trump said he has issued what he called very firm instructions, making clear that if anything were to happen to him, Iran would face total destruction. The remarks are among his most explicit and sweeping threats yet against the Islamic Republic, sharply escalating already dangerous tensions. Trump said he had instructed advisors to obliterate Iran if the country were found responsible for any attempt on his life. The language leaves little room for ambiguity and signals a posture of absolute retaliation, even as diplomatic channels between Washington and Tehran remain deeply strained. President Trump, however, was non-committal about where military options currently stand against Iran.
So with Iran, they were going to hang 837 people, and I let them be known that, and we let them know that if that happens, that will be a very bad day for them. And they decided not to do it. They didn't hang the people. I can't tell you what's going to happen in the future, but supposedly they've taken that off the table. But they were going to, last week, they were going to hang on Thursday or Wednesday. They were going to hang, I think, 837 people, and they didn't hang anybody. So we're just going to have to see what happens with Iran.
The comments come amid growing unrest inside Iran, where mass protests over the collapsing economy and political repression have shaken the leadership. At the same time, exchanges between U.S. and Iranian officials have become increasingly hostile, raising fears of a wider confrontation. Earlier, Iran warned Trump against taking any action targeting its supreme leader, Ayatollah Ali Khamenei, who has ruled the country for nearly 4 decades. A spokesperson for Iran's armed forces said that any aggression against the leader would be met with devastating retaliation, promising to not only strike back, but to set fire to what he described as the enemy's world.
We do not pay attention to Trump's bluster. He knows that if any hand is raised to assault our leader, we will not only cut off that hand decisively and courageously, and this is not just rhetoric, but we will set their world on fire. We will strip them of any security and leave no safe place for them.
The exchange follows Trump's recent criticism of Khamenei in a separate interview, where he described the Iranian leader as a sick man who should run his country properly and stop killing people. Trump went further, saying it was time for new leadership in Iran, remarks that struck at the heart of the regime's authority. The Iran supreme leader hits back and calls Trump a criminal.
That the President of the United States, he himself personally intervened in this turmoil, spoke out, made comments, and issued threats. He encouraged the instigators of unrest, sent a message from America to these individuals, and I will tell you later who they were. Keep moving forward, don't be afraid. He said, we will support you, we will provide military aid.
I mean, the U.S. President himself.
He entered the sedition. He's part of the seditions. They inflicted injury on the people. How many thousands of innocent people have these individuals murdered? Young people are also emotional. Teenagers are emotional. They are coming onto the playing field.
They are doing things that they should not be doing.
They're doing naughty things they shouldn't be doing. These are the infantry forces. This is not enough. Yes, we quelled the sedition, but it's still not enough. America must be held accountable. Our different systems must. The Ministry of Foreign Affairs, along with various other diverse governmental bodies, particularly those agencies directly involved in this specific task, must diligently pursue this matter. We are not leading this country into a war. We do not have any intention of taking the country in the direction of war. We don't allow entry to domestic criminals either. Worse than our own domestic criminals are the international ones. We won't let them in either. It must be confronted using its very own methods. This task must be properly pursued and thoroughly followed up, and by the divine grace of God, the Iranian nation.
Tensions have been building since Iranian authorities launched a violent crackdown on nationwide protests that erupted late last year. Demonstrations, initially driven by economic hardship, quickly evolved into broader challenges to the country's leadership, prompting a severe response from security forces. Trump has drawn what he described as two red lines for Iran: the killing of peaceful protesters and the use of mass executions in the aftermath of the unrest. Yet he has stopped short of clearly outlining what military options remain on the table, saying only that the situation is being watched closely and that events will determine what comes next. The scale of the unrest has been significant and deadly. A US-based human rights group shows at least 4,519 people have been killed in the protests, though there has been no independent verification of the figure. Iranian officials have acknowledged thousands of deaths, with Khamenei himself admitting over the weekend that several thousand people had been killed, while blaming the United States for fueling the unrest. As rhetoric intensifies, military movements are also drawing scrutiny. The U.S. aircraft carrier USS Abraham Lincoln has been observed moving from the South China Sea toward the Indian Ocean, accompanied by 3 destroyers. While the U.S. Navy has declined to confirm the strike group's destination, its course suggests it could reach the Middle East within days. The deployment comes as Washington weighs its next steps, with analysts warning that even unintended incidents could spiral rapidly under the current climate of threats and counter-threats.